Listen, who knows the serenity prayer? Or who thinks they know it? Okay. I'm going to stop and you tell me if I'm done. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Is that it? Really? Anybody else? Do you think that's it? That's all you ever get on the pictures, on the posters, in the 12-step groups. Here's how the rest of it goes. Listen to the rest of it. Living one day at a time. Enjoying one moment at a time. Accepting hardships as a pathway to peace. Taking, as Jesus did, this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that you will make all things right if I surrender to your will, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with you forever in the next. How much do we miss when we stop a third of the way through? This was Paul talking to the church at Philippi. He'd already been falsely imprisoned. While he was in prison, he had great joy. I understand what it's like to have all kinds of stuff, to have riches, to have nothing, to be fed, to be hungry, and in the midst of all of it, I've found joy. How can that be? Because he's focused on his Lord, his God, and not his circumstances. Who's leading in his life and where his joy and peace are coming from. Number 3, laying down my plans. My plans. I know it sounds really mean. My plans were to never marry a redhead. God's plans were, this is what you need. And I've got what I need, and I'm learning that that's what I really wanted. I didn't know that's what I really wanted in the past. But God's convinced me over time. Matter of fact, I like her when she dyes her hair redder. I do. I do. I like it a little darker and everything, but I love my wife. It took a long time to learn that, but I do. And here's something I learned in Marriage Encounter. Love is a choice. It's not an emotion. It's not a feeling. It's a choice. I choose to love her every single day. Does it make sense? It's not just an emotion. It's not just a feel-good. I made a commitment to my wife before God, and I said, God, no matter what happens in our life, we're going to get to the other side of it together. That's my vow to you. And I'm going to count on you to help us. I need you there, because without you, it's going to fall apart. Without trusting you, we're going to be so focused on ourselves and our insecurities and our mistrust that we're going to be fighting like cats and dogs, and it doesn't work. We've tried it. We've tried it. Number 3, laying down my plans comes along with this. 1 John 3:16. This is how we know what love is. Jesus Christ laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for our brothers. Romans 6:13. Do not offer the parts of your body to sin as instruments of wickedness, but rather offer yourselves to God as those who have been brought from the dead back to life, and offer the parts of your body to him as instruments of righteousness. There's many times my prayer is, it was last night, it's Sunday mornings, God, I don't want this to be my message. You use me to pour your message through. You get your truth through. And hold the rain off, please. Another few more minutes. Number 4, leaving the future to God. Can you really trust your future with God? I'm getting an awful lot of emails lately about Obama this, Obama that, the control of the other countries. A Muslim just took over the BBC broadcasting unit, and everybody's so concerned. And the best thing I can say is this. Have you read the end of the Bible? Did God know this was coming? Yeah? Do we really have to worry? No, you know what we need to do? We need to know who we can trust in the midst of the madness. As bad as this world gets, God said, you're going to be victorious. You can trust me. I'm working it all for your good. Quit worrying. Trust. You don't know what this world's going to be like next month, but you don't have to stress over it, because you don't have to live as part of the world. You're stuck in the world, but not a part of it. And that's your choice. You want to freak out about stuff in the world? Go for it. What's your job? Trust God and walk according to what He leads in your life. what He leads in your life. Proverbs 3:4 through 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your paths straight. He's going to do it when you trust Him. Psalm 37:18 and 19. The days of the blameless are known to the Lord, and their inheritance will endure forever. In times of disaster, they will not wither. In days of famine, they will enjoy plenty. Hello, that's us. We're not going to wither and die. We're going to enjoy plenty. When the world's going to hell in a handbasket, we as Christian believers are trusting God for everything we need. And He said He'll supply it. He said it's done. I don't know if you heard Jesus' words on the cross when He said, "It is finished." It's finished. It was done over 2,000 years ago for you today. Are you believing it? Or do you still think you've got to earn it somehow? Do you still think you're supposed to do something to make it happen? It's a big decision. You know what? I get to this part about lean not on your own understanding, and it reminds me of this analogy where we want to take this pure, holy, clean Spirit of God, and before we want to accept what He's got for us in our lives, we want to filter it through this brain that's been nastied up by this world, mine for 48 years. And go, I don't know, God, let me take your pure spirit and filter it through my thoughts before I really believe if I want to take it on or not. And you know what that's like doing? That's like going into nice crystal spring water, pouring yourself a glass of water through a nasty dish rag that's been stored under the sink in mold and mildew for 6 months and saying, yeah, before I drink this, let me just run it through something of the world first that's nasty and see if I want to enjoy it then. Why do we want to do that? Because we're stuck in the vanity of our own minds, thinking that we've got it all figured out, and if God can prove that He's worthy for me, then maybe I can trust Him. Boy, what a joke that is when you think about it. And I'm not trying to be harsh on anybody, but I'm trying to get you to see the reality of God's pure, Holy Spirit wanting to come in and cleanse you and purify you and lead you, and you can trust Him and He's worthy, and you go, gee, I don't know if I can trust this one. You know, I've been hurt by an awful lot of people. God's God. He's not another people. He's your Father in heaven who is love, not who tries to love in His own sickness so He can feel good. He is love. He's the very essence of love. If it wasn't for His love, you wouldn't love anybody or anything. You know, without Him, we can do nothing. Well, yeah, I mean, without Him, you couldn't be up there ministering. No, I'm telling you, without God, you couldn't take your next breath. Do you get that? If it wasn't for God, we wouldn't even be here. And we're going, yeah, right, I did this on my own. You know, I'm a self-made man. I got myself a career, and I got myself all my savings, and I put that all aside. Really? Do you think God gave you the mind to do that and the ability? Or is that yours too? The scientists that got together and said, well, we can create life out of the minerals of the earth. Bring us some of that there dirt, and God, I'll show you. He says, well, go ahead and show me. And they scoop up some dirt, and He says, wait a minute. Go get your own dirt. See, you want to start with something that's mine in the first place. Are we ready to give up control?